time to be dismissed to get materials, you're going to come to the counter and get 2 paintbrushes. I would suggest getting either the square tip brush, which is the red brushes, or the straight edge brushes, which are these green ones. I wouldn't go for the fan brushes or the detail brushes because the detail brushes are too small and the fan brushes are just kind of weird and they're for different things than we're doing today. So I would go for either the red brush or the green brush. And you need 2, so maybe you should just grab both. It's up to you, but go for whatever is going to work best for your painting today. Then you're going to come over to the paper table and you're going to walk around and pick one piece of paper for your sketchbook cover. This piece of paper is probably not going to show that much, but whatever amount of paper you decide not to paint today is going to show through. So be sure that it's a color of paper that you really like. So if I pick this purple piece of paper, whatever paper I decide not to paint today is going to show through on my sketchbook. Okay, so I am ready to paint. I have a few things that I brought with me, and I also have a few things at my table. I brought with me my paper and 2 paintbrushes that I picked out at the counter. At my table, I have my paint, a pencil, water, and a paper towel. So I'm going to start by putting my name and my class code. Remember, my class code is that first letter of your teacher's name and your grade level. So if your teacher's name started with a C, I would put a C. And if you're in 2nd grade, I would put a 2. And then you're gonna circle it, and that's your class code. I'm gonna turn it over, and we are ready to paint. So remember, we don't paint on ourselves, we don't paint on the table. If it happens on accident, that's one thing, but it's pretty obvious to know if you're doing it on purpose. So let's just try not to do that. So I'm going to start with red, and I'm going to be making a line across my paper. It can be a zigzag line. I'm going to make kind of a box line. And I want it to be interesting because this is going to be my sketchbook all year, and I'm going to be seeing it almost every week in art. So I don't want to really rush through this and do a bad job because it's something that I'm going to see every week. My friends are going to see every week, and so I want it to look really good. So I'm going to go through this very slow, take my time, make really pretty lines with my paint. And remember, if you keep your paintbrush on top of its toes like a ballerina, it's going to make a prettier line. So when I'm ready to move on to a different color, that's when I'm going to use the water. The only time I'm ever using water is when I'm ready to switch to a different color. And I'm going to wash my hair, my paintbrush's hair out. If I see it still has a lot of paint in the hair, I'm going to keep washing. And when I think I've got it nice and clean, I'm going to give it a good scrub on my paper towel. I want to get it nice and dry. If you don't get it dry enough before you use a different color, oops, I can make a happy mistake out of that. So if you don't get it nice and dry before you use a different color, then it's going to leave a big old water stain on your paper. So be sure that you get all that water out. I'm going to go on to blue. So I'm going to get some blue on my paintbrush. And I'm just going to start painting inside those little squares. Now see how I didn't go over my red? What would happen if I mixed red and blue? Does anybody know? What color would I get? Purple. If I mixed them together, I would get purple, except it would not be a very pretty purple. It'd be a very dark, ugly purple. So be sure that you are not mixing colors together on your paper. We're gonna just keep them separate for today. We will mix colors another day, I promise. Today, we're gonna keep these colors separate. So I'm gonna continue to use all my colors in my dish. If I run out of a color in my tray, I'm going to go, and one person from your table can go and get 5 pumps of paint at the paint table. If one of them is not working, if it's hard to get the paint out of the pump, call Miss Cartmel over, raise your hand and call her over, and I will absolutely come and help you. So have fun with this. You're trying to paint as much of your paper as you can very neatly. This is the only day we are painting, so try and get as much of it done today as you can. Have fun.